Hey kids, Alec here with the Frog Brothers podcast, reminding you to check out our YouTube where we have exclusive mail-time videos featuring collectibles, toys, comics, VHS, rare DVDs, shirts, pins, and more. Be sure to hit subscribe. Hit us up on Facebook and Instagram to see live unboxing videos and daily updates. You can find all of our podcast episodes up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and most places where podcasts are available. Keep an eye out for merchandise in the future. And remember, second shelf is mine. That's where I keep my root beers and double thick Oreo cookies. Nobody touches the second shelf but me.
Cry, little sister. Come to your brother. Yeah. Oh, take me, sister. Love is with Frog Brothers.
It's refreshment time, folks.
I have to return some videotapes.
Are either one of these any good?
I don't watch movies.
Do you like scary movies, Sydney?
You have a TV?
No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only...
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Tonight on 6 Ed World.
Okay, I want channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to episode 17 of the Frog Brothers podcast. And we're in my new digs. Alec and I are hanging out here tonight in person.
This is in person. This is interesting. I can see you.
I can see you too, so we know when to not talk over each other.
That's so, it's so fascinating.
It is. Eye contact. It's weird.
It's very interesting. Usually I'm staring at a wall, staring at a window.
Usually I'm just staring at Apple Logic, scrolling along endlessly.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes. I watch the waveforms as they form.
Yeah, I kind of nerd out on that. Like, did I get enough amplitude on that? Are
Exactly.
we good? Compression, refraction. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So I got moved to my new place. Alec and I had a nice adventure. We went up to 1313 Mockingbird Lane, spent some money on some toys. I picked up some cool stuff. Slimer, a plushie Slimer that looks like the green ghost from the Kenner line. Never seen that one before. That was pretty nice. I bought a on-card Kylie, but the bubble's breaking off, so I'm channeling my inner Craig Goldberg here, and I think that might have to be opened. Or I might have to glue it back shut. I haven't decided yet.
See, I have all my Extreme Ghostbusters figures on card still. And, God damn it, I want some open, loose, complete ones. So I might just have to end up tracking them all down in box and opening them.
I would definitely be on the lookout, but you don't usually see those all the way full.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. I might have to buy them in box and just do an unboxing video of the whole goddamn series at some point.
So funny, I bought that Kylie, and I bought a lot of real Ghostbusters figures, I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe around the time Answer the Call came out. And I have the little version of Slimer that comes with Kylie, so I've got two of them now.
Oh, nice.
So I've got one in the package. The other one was just like randomly thrown in there, so.
Yeah.
Gotta love buying lots.
Hell yeah. Is that all you got there?
No. I also bought a t-shirt to support the business, and I bought a reaction figure of what they call Skeletim from the band Rancid. I have a Rancid tattoo on my arm, so I was like, well, comes with the guitar. It'll look good next to Marty. It'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not a huge fan of the reactions, but we're going to do an interview with Terry sometime from 1313 Mockingbird Lane. We just he was kind of busy that day, had an online sale on Sunday, so that's the day that he reopens for everyone to come visit. So didn't quite get to do that, but we definitely will soon because he's moving to a bigger location out in Lawrence, Kansas. So pretty stoked to see how that turns out. That should be pretty awesome.
He's going to get a lot of my money in the future, so... But he had a pretty good selection. It was a pretty small space, but I really liked it. I enjoy just going through all the stuff. It's been so long since I've been able to... Any of us have really been able to go in many stores like this or anything, so... I bought a mask from him with vampire teeth on it.
Oh, that was the other thing I bought. I bought the Fright Rags mini Stay Puft mask that they had released.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
So that'll be fun to put out around the Halloween time.
Yeah. In his store, the first thing I think I decided I was going to buy was he had the NECA Spider Gremlin. It was a little more than what I probably could have got it online for, just a tad bit, but yeah, I don't care. Because I wanted it then, I wanted it now, I saw it, he had it, I wanted to support him because that business is awesome. So I was really happy to pick that up, added another gremlin to the collection. Then I also found another Alf Burger King puppet. I used to have all 4 of them. Now I've got 2 of them. I only need 2 more, so...
Those are pretty awesome. So when you move up here, we'll have a celebration of Alf because I've got an Alf cake pan that I still haven't used yet.
Well, fucking have the epic Alf episodes.
So for our next unboxing, there's a bunch of stuff that I gave to Alec. Some of it he kind of picked up for me. Some of it was just stuff I've been curating for myself. Kind of think of it as a brother-to-brother loot crate sort of a thing, right? We're just filling it with cool shit and giving it to the other person.
Yeah, like pretty much like, well, I don't know. It seems like at the rate we're doing it about 1 every 2 months.
And I think that's pretty manageable.
Yeah, it's pretty decent because then you can kind of just slowly collect some shit that you find for the other person. Just because you would come across it, or you come across the double of something because we like a lot of the same shit.
Yeah, so. That's pretty awesome. So before we went to 1313, I popped by Walmart when I was waiting to go to the DMV because the DMV gave me a time to come back when I could go get in line to go get my appointment done. That was thrilling, let me tell you. But we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, we're now the DMV podcast.
Yeah.
We critique DMVs and other infuriating situations.
Yeah, so at least this one is actually pretty punctual. They told me to come back at 11. I got there at like 10:57, and I left by 11:09. So I was pretty fucking impressed.
Nice.
But in the meanwhile, because I got there at like 9:45, so I popped into a Walmart. Since I was moving, I got some shelf liners, some cleaning sprays, some sponges, and that stuff for the kitchen, but...
Some chewing gum.
Well, therefore you must north of the Garthak.
Arnie Di Chico.
So I perused the toy aisles there too. They didn't have anything crazy new, just the kind of standard stuff I've been seeing everywhere. But I did find a Marvel Legends Wasp figure on clearance for half off, so picked that up because I had Ant-Man, mostly because, well, it's fucking Paul Rudd. He's from Kansas City. How would I not get an action figure of Paul Rudd?
Yeah, Paul Rudd's a god among men.
So I'm definitely looking forward to having a Ghostbusters Plasma Series version of Paul Rudd, of Mr. Gruberson. Whatever that may be, I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Speaking of Mr. Gruberson and Paul Rudd's one of those people that for 15 years, you kind of, at least me, I know I always daydreamed about him being in a new Ghostbusters movie. And when it was announced, I was kind of just like, bullshit. I stroked out and I'm in a fucking coma. This isn't life.
Yeah. It feels like David after the dentist, going to a throwback there. Is this real life? Is this going to last forever?
Yeah. And then, it's kind of another one of those things. It's like people actually have control of who's getting cast in movies now. The fans do.
Yeah.
Another example of that is Finn Wolfhard being in that movie. I think that was kind of like they could tell it was obviously more of a cultural thing there, where he's just big and in a lot of shit.
Yeah,
and they saw, you can reference the Stranger Things too, obviously. But
yeah, which everyone's like, well, he did that. I mean, but if you've heard Reitman talk about it, you're like, okay,
but
wait.
you see that, and you see him in that Ghostbusters outfit, and you're like, fuck yeah, he could be a Ghostbuster.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing about that is that feeling that gives you from Stranger Things Season 2. Season 2's not great.
I love the do-it-yourself
But yeah,
their uniforms and shit. Yeah.
But the Ghostbusters costumes, like the jumpsuits, are on point. The proton packs, look like they're homemade. The jumpsuits,
rule.
I mean, that's probably the jumpsuits are probably actually for that first movie or for the first Halloween after the movie came out. Probably was a lot of military surplus jumpsuits that were probably way more accurate than the stuff that was released later on or whatever. Just because, like, where else could you get one? Oh, okay, here you go. Speaking of jumpsuits, I have purchased 2 Gibson & Barnes suits recently for good prices on eBay. One's not the style of suit that's screen accurate, so I'm debating whether I keep that and make like a alternate uniform from maybe the real Ghostbusters or something along those lines. And then the other one is super movie accurate. Looks great, but it's Gibson & Barnes. So they made the suits in Ghostbusters 2. But this is a Ghostbusters 1 style suit, and it's pretty awesome. Pretty excited to get that.
We got to make some real Ghostbusters Kenner line toy costumes. That's what I want to do.
Yes, all the extra accessories, the ghost packings and
shit,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just see how deep cut you can go. That's the sort of thing we need to take to Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Because assuming the world doesn't end on New Year's Eve...
on New Year's Eve.
You won't even see Paperback till next year.
I'm Shia LaBeouf's dad in Transformers.
Yeah. What have you done with yourself? Well, went from being a crazy person on a show with...
He's also in Small Soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Which we're going to cover that pretty soon. Because that fucking movie rules, and Joe Dante directed it, director of Gremlins. That makes a lot of fucking sense to me.
Oh, yeah. Definitely the vibes you get in there.
But I also got a few more toys that I didn't... well, we'll talk about Target in a minute. That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other story.
But first, we were still at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, and I also purchased From Dusk Till Dawn on VHS. He had a lot of good VHS. A lot of them I did already have, though, so I didn't pick them up. But I didn't have From Dusk Till Dawn, and I'm always looking for that thing on eBay. But because people know it's a good movie, the better the movie is, the more expensive it is on VHS, regardless of how rare it is almost. It's kind of just, that's how it works on eBay. So
yeah,
if you find them out in the world, it was $3 for me, and that's fair for a VHS. So I bought it. And I think that's all I bought the first time around. The Spider Gremlin and that. And then we were sitting there for a while, and we were just chatting with Terry.
Yeah, we were just chatting with Terry about everything, and then Alec continued shopping. So before you find out, so Alec was shopping, but our friend Tony came out, and Tony was supposed to be one of our guests on the show, and we'll get him on eventually, but he had to work. He works in film production, so you got to work when you can work, when you're doing anything in the creative worlds like that, so you just kind of got to... So he had to bow out of that one, but we called him up, see if he wanted to catch up since he hadn't seen Alec in a while, and he came out, and it was pretty awesome to see him complete part of his collection. He found the Bob from the Batman Toy Biz line from Batman 89, and he'd been looking for that. I remember looking around different toy booths at Planet Comic-Con with Tony for that figure. You know, that was on his list, and so he found basically a mint on card figure, and it was amazing. Perfect shape. So while Tony's looking around and doing that, and we're talking, Alec just started shopping again after he rang out once. And then what did you find for your second transaction?
Well, he had a lot of reaction figures, and I'm not into all of the reaction figures. I love how they look, but I'm just, I'm a focused collector. And one of my big focuses is Gremlins. So I noticed he had a couple Gremlins ones. And we got to talking, and he showed me them. He pulled them off the rack, and he was saying how some of the reaction figures, the bubble cards are in bad shape because of the production of them, basically, not because of anything, that was done in the store or anything like that. But I got to looking on the rack and noticed a couple Back to the Future reaction figures, and, we just got those San Diego Comic-Con exclusives ordered of the Series 2 for that. So I found Doc Brown and George McFly on card, and they're in pretty much perfect condition as far as reaction figures go, so got that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah, that was a good find there because the older reaction figures, Terry was telling us that the glue on the adhesive, for the onto the card basically would just go brittle and fall off. So he had some of the cards that he had to like retape shut. So, which is frustrating when you're a toy collector, right? So I always appreciate good packaging, something that you could possibly reopen and repackage properly.
Yeah.
Without damaging things, right? So even when I open cards now, I'm kind of nerdy. I don't like to rip anything off. I usually take an X-Acto knife or a box cutter and cut really close to the card. That way I don't ruin any of the art underneath.
Yeah.
Just because I'll save those in a stack if I'm going to open something, just because it's nice art. Someone put time into that. And I paid for the packaging too.
Right.
That's a big cost of production, something like that.
Yeah, so mind you, this is all after Wednesday. Let's go back in time a little bit to understand my state of mind during these toy purchases. So Wednesday, I delivered pizza from about 4:30 till 12:30. I got off work, went home, did some laundry, picked up my room a little bit, hung out with my dogs, packed the car up, and around 4:30 in the morning, I left Memphis and drove to Kansas City. Tired as fuck the whole time. And it was like 2 hours in, I was like, this may have been a bad idea, but I can't do anything about it now.
Oh, yeah.
So, fuck it. And I got a coffee. I found like a triple shot coffee that had almond milk in it, so it was all vegan and shit. It was actually kind of tasted like shit, but I think it's because it was a triple shot. And it was like...
Was it bitter?
Yeah, it was like... I don't know, it didn't taste like black coffee or anything like that. It just tasted kind of shitty. So I was like, I'm going to down this because I need it.
I don't know, people question my existence as human or not because I don't like coffee. By the time I like coffee, you've put so much sugar and other stuff into it, I'm like, I may as well just have had a soda.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I used to not like coffee so much, but I like coffee and tea a lot now.
Now give me unsweetened tea and we're talking. None of that diabetes. Get your testing supplies. I'm Wilbert Brambley. And if you or anyone in your family has diabetes, you can fill your cheeks up with air and cookies.
So anyway, when I got here at about 12:30, the original plan was for me to nap. But we were so stoked that we were like, all right, well, the toy store is open.
Yeah, they're 11 to 7, Thursday through Sunday. Or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, they're only open till 5 because they do their online sales then. So
we said, fuck it, and drove my tired ass out there. And to be fair, I did set a bunch of money aside so I could do some shopping there. So that's why I didn't feel bad doing it. Now, we drove home, and while we're driving, I was like, hey, why don't we stop at Walmart or Target or something? Because I was like, I just had that. I didn't buy enough. I didn't get enough, damn it, give me more. And then...
He needed more. He needed to feel the force.
I'm also I was wanting to check for the NECA exclusive Gremlin at Walmart. That was one thing I was kind of like, I wouldn't mind checking that out. And I'm always looking out for Gremlins and other shit at Target and Walmart anyway, so I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
And I kind of want to see if they had the Mutagen Turtle pack, the tour pack, and I'm not going to start buying NECA Ninja Turtles, so I'm trying to focus on my collecting right now. There's just too many things, like I just can't go down the rabbit hole, so...
Yeah.
My Ghostbusters collection's pretty solid where it's at right now until the new movie stuff or Afterlife comes out. I'm pretty comfortable there.
Yeah, until that Louis Tully. You're gonna be getting that, you son of a bitch.
Louis Tully and my Spangler thrower.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's
and anything else they release between now and the movie.
Yeah. So, but I feel good about that collection. Like I'm not actively stressed on like, hey, what do I need to find next or what do I got to go looking for? Because I'm just going to pre-order the Back to the Future figures from Mockingbird Lane. It's going to be so much easier than having to go on the toy hunt.
Yeah.
Now, the toy hunts are fun, but at the same time, we're in a pandemic, so like I hate to go only looking for toys. Like, if I'm going to go there for groceries or whatever else, I'll always take a peek. Yeah. Right, but I try not to go out of my way for that. So, just excited to see what else comes out. But my Barbasol Dennis Nedry shipped. Got my shipping notification today after they charged my card yesterday.
Nice. So, we walk in the Target. What do we find at Target?
This Target has a huge selection of NECA. No Gremlins. No Turtles, though.
They did have a good horror section. They had, like 3 or 4 different Jasons, at least 2 different Freddys, I think. They had 3 and one from the first one. Like they were just OG Nightmare on Elm Street, and then they had Dream Warriors Freddy.
Yeah, so they had 3 Freddys different to choose from there.
They did not have number 2 because I would have bought it.
Yeah, and then a couple Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. They had a good Godzilla section. So Nathan, I challenge you to start buying NECA Godzilla. I know you're listening, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, start buying toys like a real man. Remember that time, Nathan? This is just for you, but it'll be funny to everyone else. But we went to Target one time. I want to say I probably had like $4 or $5 in quarters, and I bought you bought. I don't remember what the fuck action figure you bought because I was more concerned about the action figure I was buying, to be honest. And what's even funnier about that is I'm sure you remember that your lovely mother paid for like $2 or $3 of my action figure, like bought half of it. Because I didn't have enough money, and I was too stupid to fucking realize I didn't have enough money.
Yeah, and you're going around buying shit with quarters.
Right, I was fucking like 11, dude. And I was like, I want this.
Shit, nowadays, man, they'd encourage you to pay with quarters.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wants that change. Yeah, so we get into Target, look around. I didn't choose anything in the NECA. I just really haven't got into the NECA stuff yet. Their stuff's amazing, but it just...
I almost bought the Toonie Terror Pennywise.
Oh, I guess I do.
It, the 90, the miniseries It.
Yeah, that's all I have from NECA right now is some Toonie Terrors.
Which, they're more affordable, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, those are at a good price point to really just get in there, see if you like it. So then we go to the regular toy section. I was like, well, let's see what they have in the regular toy section. And they've got this Thrashing T-Rex from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah, they have a whole a couple Camp Cretaceous toys actually, like a little setup end cap for it.
And I saw this maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was like, God damn it, that thing's really cool. I really want it. And then,
damn, those toys have been out here for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ!
Just the T-Rex. They didn't have all the other sets out yet.
My Target always has the worst fucking toy section in the world.
Depends on which...
I swear to God, the Ghostbusters figures, they never put them out at that Horn Lake Target. They put the tags up for them, and then every day that they put those up, they just put Beast Morpher Power Rangers on there.
It's all store to store around here.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I picked up the Thrashing T-Rex from Camp Cretaceous, and I also got a couple of the Star Wars Black Series, the child figures. Haven't really bought any Black Series yet, but the Mandalorian's pretty awesome, and I figured I'd snag one of those just because it's a $10 figure new now. Like, I figure if you're going to go looking for one of those later, it could be kind of asinine.
If there's one thing that's always tempting to buy when you go to the store, it's Star Wars toys, and
yeah,
they're always fucking cool, and I always got to be like, no, stop it. Because if I start collecting Star Wars in a certain way, it's never going to end. That collection can never end.
No, I mean, if you go, which way do you go? Do you go Black Series? Do you go Vintage? Do you go 90s? Like, what do you do? There's so many options, and the Star Wars merchandise is insane.
Well, that's the thing. I made that mistake of buying that Jabba's Palace playset when it was on clearance for $13. So now I'm like, I have new toys.
See, and you lucked out because that's on clearance at one of the Walmarts up here now for $30.
I don't know how it was 13. They had like a fucking 4 of them. I should have just bought them all and sold them to people for $20 or some shit.
Yeah. That'd have been, saved people a bunch of money. And so
we were looking at some of these Jurassic Park toys, right? Jurassic World had some Legacy Collection stuff, and I wanted to pick up the set that you told me about that came with 2 Velociraptors, Hammond and Sattler.
And one of the coolest parts about that is the When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth banner that comes in there. That's actually like a soft banner.
That's what sold me on it. Like, you told me about that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then you told me about the banner, and I was like, all right, I'm fucking buying it.
Yeah, so I feel like the next figure they need to do in that line, right? So last year for 2019, San Diego Comic-Con, they did the John Hammond, like with the park doors opening. And then this year they did Dennis Nedry for the 3 3/4 inch line of the Jurassic World Legacy Collection, right? So it's all your first Jurassic Park movie stuff. I'd imagine they could do Lost World stuff or Jurassic Park 3 if they wanted to as well. But getting that set, you know, like everyone made a big deal about being able to get John Hammond now because some of those things were going for $90 for a 3 3/4 inch figure. That's insane.
Yeah.
So being able to get him, he doesn't come with the dinosaur incubator, but he does come with the cane.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. That's going to go well with Nedry. But we were talking about it, like, what do they do next in that line next year, right? What is something we haven't had before? I want a fucking Sam Jackson, goddammit, figure. I want Mr. Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Arnold.
With the detachable arm.
Yeah. Yeah. And he would be awesome in there, right? I think that'd be a great one. And like, how do you make his figure in there, right? Because you've already gotten, well, who do you have in there, right? That's another figure they've never made an action figure of that would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Mr. Arnold in the Amber collection too. But they've got a long ways to go on those, so there's a lot of stuff in that line that hasn't happened yet, but could.
Yeah.
So clearly, I'm collecting a lot of Jurassic Park. But Alec,
I made a horrible, yet awesome and terrific, glorious, epic purchase when I came across the Jurassic World Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus.
Yes, I got flashbacks to hearing Jacob talking about going to find that at his Target.
Yeah, I remember it, and I was like, holy shit, it's like I struck oil, and then I held onto it and was like, I have to buy this.
Well,
I guess I have to start a Jurassic Park toy collection now.
You want to get really weird here for a second?
What?
So dinosaurs died, decomposed, and turned to oil.
Yeah, I know.
And then you just bought a dinosaur that's made out of oil.
Yes. Well, it's made out of plastic.
Which is lots of times made out of oils.
Oh, shit.
So it's the circle of life. It's been reincarnated as itself. So I guess technically now I do have to say I believe in reincarnation. In a spiritual sense, of course.
When I die, I want to come back as a Ghostbusters action figure. Turn me to oil quick. I know it takes millions of years, but you can figure this shit out.
You could do that. I'm sure you could figure it out.
I mean, you could just push my ashes into a figure.
No, they could put your ashes into 3D printing and like make you.
I think this is revolutionary. We could do this, and people would do it. You know, fucking Craig would.
Yeah.
Craig would put his ashes into an action figure, a limited edition, 1 of 10.
Yeah.
The Craig Ectoglow with real ashes. It's so fucked up.
That's really dark. I would want to be made into an Ash versus the Evil Dead. Deadite. Because it's my ashes.
Version of yourself?
Yes.
That'd be sick.
Make me as a Deadite. That'd be
Why don't you just turn my actual full corpse into an action figure? That'd be fucking dark.
I hope I don't live to see
my
that.
My coffin, this is it, right here.
No, it's a Kiss coffin?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is a big-ass reproduction of the Kenner Ghostbusters action figure artwork. And my coffin is the plastic seal, and you just store me in your house on the wall and let me rot.
So you basically want the sign backing from FanFest, and you want us to put you in a piece of plexiglass.
Kind of. But it needs to be more permanent. It'll be like in the cemetery, fucking there.
I mean, I guess if you have enough money by the time you die, you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm into it. You can do that shit where they, I don't know, just spray me with clear coat.
Spray me with clear coat?
You know
that doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous.
Spray me with a bunch of clear coat, I won't rot. That's my logic.
We eat enough preservatives anyway. We'll be fine for a while.
Freeze dry me or something like beef jerky? I don't know. You can figure this out.
I'd rather be mummified. I think with all the tattoos anyway, I'd look pretty good in a museum of art.
Turn me into a lampshade.
That's a little too Adolf Hitler-y.
I was thinking more like Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted.
Alec's having a moment here. Don't mind him. He's got a case of
Buffalo
giggles.
Bill and Ted. The new movie from Alec West. That's my brain. Holy shit.
Oh, so we got to jump off track here because we've just been bullshitting. So this brings me to a new segment we've been talking about. It's called the Shark Tank. Not the Shark Tank, the Shark Tank. It's a terrible, shitty idea. It's like shitting your pants thinking you're farting, but you're really going number 2. And that is an idea for the Shark Tank. Buffalo Bill and Ted.
Welcome to Shark Tank.
And I think the Shark Tank is an idea in itself for the Shark Tank.
Yes, it is. But Buffalo Bill and Ted.
Buffalo Bill and Ted, that'd be a fucking sick movie.
Has Hannibal Lecter's got to appear in that, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, Hannibal.
And he's got to be
Hannibal
friends.
Lecter would be like their Rufus in this, I believe.
Okay. And Death could actually still be in it just as himself because that really works. I mean, Death in a movie like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Shark Tank, where we take terrible ideas and talk about it. So now that we're on the Shark Tank, the idea we wanted to talk about was they recently announced that they're going to reboot Twister. And again, everyone's like just fresh out of new ideas. You can do a movie, another Twister movie. You can even have it set in universe that just has a few references to the original. And it might be okay. To reboot it with the same characters or same concept now is kind of trashy. That movie's not even that old. I think that's really super lame. But why reboot it when you could just do a sequel?
Or, I mean, yes, this is the point of this segment, but fuck off and just do another movie about tornadoes that's unrelated.
Yeah, here's an idea. Rewrite movies, steal the ideas you're doing now, and just come up with a new name.
Yeah. So
it's pretty easy.
Anyway, I have a couple random thoughts about this.
So we came up with the idea of like, what would you do for a Twister sequel? But it's got to be terrible. It's not like it'll be like if you really were gonna do it. Like I'm thinking like if I'm a movie executive and I think like I know shit about movies just because I'm a fucking 1%er.
What do people love about Twister?
What do people love about Twister?
Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
And Bill Paxton's dead.
Yes.
This is an issue.
Yes.
However, it can be solved.
Yes, we've thought of the perfect way to do this.
In several ways. You know, you can go traditional. You can go find some deleted scenes from Twister. You can, honestly, just download this face swap app we've been using and, like, I can play Bill Paxton. That's an option. I'm willing to do it. I will play the extreme.
Now, I just realized, though, that this idea that we have for this Twister sequel could technically be in canon, in universe with Ghostbusters Afterlife because it takes place in Oklahoma.
I was about to say, it actually is also technically, in my idea,
and
connected to the Ferris Bueller universe, which is all of the John Hughes movies.
That's beautiful, but it's also that because Bill Paxton's dead. That's a problem. You've already said that.
Yes.
But
Bill Paxton Zombie is written on my fucking paper.
Bill Paxton Zombie, but I was thinking Bill Paxton dies and he's a ghost. Tornado.
Do you remember that episode where there's of the real Ghostbusters where there's a fucking Drool the dog-faced goblin? Do you remember that tornado in that episode?
Well, do you remember the tornado that got you to the flip side?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not uncanny for the Ghostbusters to deal with tornadoes. But picture this.
Oh, that's just
Twister
fucked up, but
2.
while we're speaking, they're also going to have to take down Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm sorry.
Yes, they will. We'll get to that. You guys don't even know the concept yet. We haven't even got to it. So the idea is, okay, Bill Paxton's dead. We don't want to replace Bill Paxton, but we want to have Bill Paxton in it. And how do you do that, would you say? Well, how would you do that? Well, you know, we have a famous actor that died in the first version of Twister? Jonas Miller.
Jonas.
Nightcrawler.
Got himself some corporate sponsors.
Days of sniffing the dirt are over. So, Bill Harding dies. Opening credits of the movie. Just like Joe's dad dies at the beginning of the first Twister. And Joe goes around hunting twisters, but these twisters are fighting the twister of Jonas, fighting the twister of Bill.
The ghost twisters.
Ghost twisters dueling it out over Oklahoma. That's why we call this the Shark Tank, because this is the fucking dumbest thing you can think of. But
and also, Rabbit is back. But his, who's the fucking kid he rode with? The kid that's in all the fucking 90s movies and as bit roles? He's dead too. But now, who's driving the car with Rabbit? His high school buddy, Ferris Bueller.
Yes, we're talking extended universe stuff here. Real Wrath of God. So, that's the Shark Tank idea of the week is Twister, but they're fighting twisters. And Joe's going around to try to stop them from destroying people on Earth because they hated each other so much in life that they haunted twisters to just try to destroy each other in the afterlife.
Yeah. You bring back Van Halen and Eric Clapton for the soundtrack?
Well, of course. What else would you do?
They should write some new themes for it.
Of course.
Bill Paxton
So,
is a twister. This movie is so bad. 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 It's still pretty fucking awful.
So, as a kid, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 2 or 3 years old. And, it's pretty
How'd
scary.
you like it, bitch?
It's pretty scary, realizing that, like, hey, when I go to bed tonight, as a toddler, as a little kid, you realize someone's going to murder you in your sleep.
That's a fucked up realization to have.
It is. I used to have lots of nightmares from it as a little kid. And then, I remember one time, there's this house that we used to drive by all the time that was abandoned, right across the street from the junior high I went to. They eventually turned it into a family video that's still there and operating.
Right by the Dairy Queen, pretty much.
Yeah. And it was this nasty old white house, beat up.
I remember it.
And my dad would drive by, and like if I was acting up or being mad, he'd be like, hey, there's Freddy's house. So, and I'm sure my dad thought this was hilarious, but it would fucking like traumatize me. And he would do that. And then one other time, we got a first cordless phone in the house. And you could talk through the base station of the phone to the phone. So I was out back, and he spoke through the phone at me and said that he was Freddy on the other end of the phone, which is messed up considering that that's what Freddy did in the movie anyway with the tongue.
Yeah.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
So I learned at a young age that apparently it's okay to traumatize people and scare them. Now, obviously, I wouldn't do that to my own kids because that's ridiculous, and I realize how messed up that is. But you're probably like wondering, where's the story going if you're going to talk about Rumplestiltskin? Well, this is a shitty it acts like it's a made-for-TV movie, but I remember we watched it on, must have been HBO, Showtime, or Cinemax, one of the three, and scare the shit out of Alec with it. Because I learned that was like, at the time, oh yeah, it's cool to scare people for that. And so then I got a kick out of it. So because I learned that it was okay to scare people, then what do you think I did to my little brother who I shared a room with? Well, I scared him. And so Rumpelstiltskin in this movie has this really amazing kind of like, he's a hunchback at times, and he's kind of got this little, it looks like he's skipping or galloping almost.
He's like limping, but skipping while he's limping.
Yes, and so I used to chase Alec down the hallway the way Rumpelstiltskin would walk. And Alec would just go running full speed down and go hide in the bedroom when this is on. So we had to revisit this movie because, holy shit, I got to torch you with that movie. And,
yeah, I remember I When I first got a job when I was like 16 or something, I started making my own paychecks. I ordered this movie on DVD used off, I believe it was Amazon, not eBay. And I ordered a bunch of used DVDs off of Amazon back in the day then, but this was one of them. I remember we rewatched it then, and I rewatched this like sometime in the last year, exposing some poor woman to it that I was
spending quality time with.
Yeah. Dating? Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, okay. So we had to throw this movie on, and we're watching it, and like within the first 10 or 15 minutes, Alec is like, this really reminds me of the Leprechaun. And so we had to do some research. Well, it comes to find out, you want to know why it feels like it's the Leprechaun? Same director.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Jones. He directed that and the original Leprechaun.
Yep.
Never directed any other Leprechaun movies, but you could definitely tell the vibes here were like very similar with the way some of it goes.
I thought he directed all the other Leprechaun movies.
He's got a writing credit on all of them, from what I saw.
Writing.
For character creation, I think, yeah.
Huh.
So, Max Grodenchik played Rumplestiltskin, and if I butcher that name, I'm sorry, fuck you, no one really cares. So if you really want to know who this guy is...
Deep Space Nine.
Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. He played a guy named Rom, so one of those guys with the pointy teeth and the big ears and foreheads. So he likes the pointy teeth, and I actually wonder like whether or not he got to use the same teeth from Deep Space Nine as he got to use for Rumpelstiltskin. If he just brought his own teeth to the set, right?
Rumpelstiltskin himself is a pretty terrifying looking creation in that movie. If you were just going off of looks, you just saw like a still image of him from this movie, you might be like, that looks pretty fucking good. It's pretty terrifying. Oh, what is that? But then you start this movie, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is this? It's one of those movies that feels separated from reality. And obviously it's a fucking movie. But I mean, before it really separates from reality with the weird shit, once it goes to the present day, and it's just like, oh, this woman's here, and she's in this antique store, and she's with her friend, and she finds this weird fucking rock sculpture thing that looks like, it's Rumpelstiltskin, and he's curled up in a ball, but it's like this little statue version of him. It's about the size of I was calling it a bad dragon, because that's what it looked like to me. I'm sure you know what that is. I will not describe it further.
No,
but I imagine she was like, ooh, I gotta take this home.
Looked like the size of a football, otherwise, for an American football. So
that's funny that my mind for size objects goes to, that looks like a bad dragon. Not a football, but a bad dragon.
So this movie opens up in the 1400s. It says like the 1400s Europe somewhere. It's kind of funny just because it's so asinine about that. And then it basically shows Rumpelstiltskin, and it goes by the original fairy tale basically, where he's spinning the gold for this girl, and then he's going to take the kid. So then the townspeople are like chasing Rumpelstiltskin down to get him, right? And he's talking shit and fighting everybody, and they try to light him on fire, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff goes on there, and finally,
and they turn him into the stone or whatever, the witch.
Yeah, there's an old witch in there, and she turns him into the stone and like sprinkles some magic dust on him. So
Tony Sacheries.
Yeah. Low sodium, of course.
So that's when it goes to the modern times, and she's in the shop. She finds the bad dragon statue. How many times can I say bad dragon in this podcast?
I don't know, but you're forgetting important parts.
Like what?
So the lady's married to a cop, and you see her that she's pregnant.
Fuck, you're right.
You see that she's pregnant, like hanging out talking to her husband on the phone, like he's for whatever reason calling it. And then her husband sees like a robbery go down, and so he pulls out his gun, and then he gets gunned down by somebody else, which doesn't make any sense because you don't actually see the husband die, and he gets shot like up in the shoulder, he gets shot in the leg, and if he's wearing a bulletproof vest, which it sure as fuck looked like he did,
yeah.
Like, I'm like, how would he bleed out or die from any of these injuries? That doesn't make sense. It's not a great movie, okay? I mean, there's a lot of small things in here. That's
what I'm saying. That whole scene there, like once it starts in this this thing, it just, you kind of feel like it's weird. Things feel hazy, and you're like, it just feels off. There's something weird here.
And the lighting in that movie is really bizarre. Like, it just felt so. I mean, it could just because it's a cheap convert on DVD.
That's
like
what I think. That's what it is too. Partially
just bad
the
DVD authoring. Yeah. Yeah. So then this lady is like trying to recover from the loss of her husband, and like you see that she's had the baby now. And so she's hanging out with one of her friends, and like to cheer her up, she wants to go shopping. So they go to this little magic shop, and that's where she finds the bad dragon.
Exactly. I was waiting to say it. I was gonna say bad dragon again.
Waiting to find that. And,
she takes it home, and
she takes it home there, and I don't know if she like wishes like something.
No, she cries on it, and when she's crying, she's like, "Oh, I just wish he was back," or something, And then the tear hits the statue.
Okay, yeah, and unlocks Rumplestiltskin, so he comes back. And
so wait, he grants her wish though. Like she's just, I don't know where she's at, and she's laying in bed or something. And he just like walks in the room, and he's like, "Hey, I'm alive.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it's me. It's really me." Anyway, so her deceased husband comes back, and they shag in the bed. And then the next morning, like he's in the shower, and she's getting ready to go join him for another time. And then like she opens the shower door. And
it's Rumpleforeskin instead.
It's Rumpelstiltskin, yeah. And I heard what you did there. It's weird. So it's pretty glorious because he chases her out of the house, and because he's just trying to collect on the baby, right?
He is. He's just like, "Give me the baby."
And see, the thing I don't get about this, is they don't really explain, is if he was in bad dragon form, like a transformer, how was he able to even know that she was making a wish and needed it granted?
He's fucking magic. I don't know.
Yeah, but that
she stabs him in the fucking head 3 seconds later with a kitchen knife, and he pulls it out and says he doesn't have a soul.
Yeah.
And it looks like fucking like a latex mask that he's pulling it out of. It's funny.
Yeah, there's like no blood on there. It's actually kind of neat, And then
I would have liked to see a bunch of like weird alien-looking blood though, or something like some blue blood or something would have been cool.
Yeah, I think it was just funnier not to. And then, like, she cuts off some of his fingers, too, it looks like. But they never really explain what happens with that.
Which just reminds me of the first Nightmare on Elm Street when he's just like... And he fucking lifts up his hand and he just chops his own fingers off in front of, I think it's Tina.
Yeah. So, it's definitely an interesting movie. And then it gets really cheesy. So she's kind of, like, on the run. And, like, people don't believe her. And they think she's crazy. So they feel bad for her because she's a widow and all this other stuff.
This is where...
Then her friends realize like that she's not crazy because he comes breaking through a fucking wall in the house for him. Like instead of using the door that's right there.
He was in the closet.
Oh yeah.
He was in the closet first, and when she opened the closet, I was thinking of Ghostbusters when Louis Tully opens there and throws in the coat, because you just see the fucking Rumpelstiltskin and he's kind of just down and he looks up, and then he later breaks out of the fucking wall from the closet, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Why is he doing this? Mm-hmm. There's not drywall either. It was like some weird movie shit,
Yeah, movie walls. Yeah, it was amazing.
And then he kills her friend, but I don't even remember how. What did he do to her?
I don't remember.
Oh, he broke her neck. He just literally like fucking snapped that shit like Shao Kahn and Johnny Cage, you motherfucker.
Yeah, but Rumpelstiltskin's heroic in this because he just does stupid shit. So like, when he originally encounters her and she runs out of the house, like he sees her go down, and keep in mind he's speaking like he's from the 1400s, right? So it's hilarious just the kind of stuff he's saying. So he's calling the car steeds.
No, he calls it a horseless chariot.
Oh yeah,
he calls the motorcycle the steed.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and then it's got Terminator 2 vibes too, because he just keeps upgrading vehicles. Like
he steals a guy's motorcycle. And then he fucking wears the sunglasses.
Yes.
So you're definitely like, holy shit, he's the Terminator.
Oh, yeah. And it has that whole scene there. Yeah.
I just realized this is like very Terminator-ish.
Yes, but you know what else it is?
He's looking for her baby. Her kid.
Yes.
John is the baby's name also.
Fuck, this is an alternate timeline Terminator sequel.
Rumpelstiltskin, the Terminator. All right, I want to watch that now.
I mean, it's probably going to be better than the next actual Terminator sequel they make.
Oh, fucking A. Don't even.
So, it's pretty wild how this gets. And then it turns into like meets this random guy, like her car breaks down.
Wait. Before you move on, I want to talk about, remember when he's in the house and he's watching her run to her car with the baby?
Yeah.
And he says something like, the damsel is escaping. And that's when he says something about the horseless chariot.
Yeah.
And then he, in slow motion, just kind of rolls out the window, breaks through it, just rolls.
Breaks the glass and rolls out the window, yeah.
I mean, the shot is so fucking hilarious to me,
The other thing that's funny in that, though, is she, like, runs him over with the car a few times, right?
He gets fucked up.
Yeah, and so, like, she knocks his arm off on one of them, and then you see him, like, later on, like, sewing his fucking arm back on.
He
like,
pours maggots and sand out of his arm, too, before he puts it back on.
Yeah, just kind of one of those random things that was like, what was the writer thinking when they wrote that? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is when they introduced this fucking comedian guy who's on TV earlier at one point in the show, or the movie, whatever the fuck this garbage is. And, he's he's fucking so annoying and cringy. He's just like, hey! Whoa, lady, whoa! Whoa, hey! Whoa!
Yeah, way over the top, obnoxious. Yeah, he's the kind of guy you could do without him. He seemed like a stereotypical 80s, like, loud, obnoxious character, but this is a 90s movie.
Yeah, he felt like he was coming out of a sitcom episode, though. Like, he felt like he was literally out of, like, a season 1 Alf episode as a weird neighbor character.
Yeah, that's what he does. Anyway, so what you don't realize is he's driving a pickup truck that he's got a dune buggy loaded in while he's towing a boat. So he's, like, getting ready to go party for the weekend. So, and then they also have conversations about how much of an asshole he is throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
And then Rumpelstiltskin's chasing them almost instantly, and at this point he's in a tractor trailer or truck, whatever you fucking call them, just depending on your preference there.
Yep, and it's a fuel tanker that he's towing.
Oh yeah.
And that's important because that's very.
And then he crashes it, and fucking that shit explodes.
Yep, and then
that motherfucker is burnt. He looks like a goddamn marshmallow that's been fucking cooked too long.
Yeah, and then he just peels it off his face.
Yeah, and in this moment, I was thinking of the scene in Back to the Future 2 when Doc's like, "How do I look?"
Peels his skin off, yeah.
You look great, Doc.
So this movie also has serious vibes of Ernest Scared Stupid. Rumpelstiltskin reminds me of Trontor in certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's hunting kids for the soul.
Yeah. It's fucked up. It's weird.
Yeah.
This movie, it's just the middle section. You're paying attention at the beginning. And the beginning is not any better than the middle. But you're paying attention at the beginning because you're like, all right, I'm going to watch this movie. But by the time the middle comes around, you're like, all right, this is fucking boring. I'm going to pick my ass or look at my phones, anything else.
Yeah, the middle of it gets kind of boring, and then the end picks up because it's just basically like a long action sequence. But it just felt like they didn't know what to do with it because in the middle of it, when they introduced this other character that's like trying to help her out, right? Okay, yeah, here you go. So, and then it gets kind of fun at the end, though, when they get to the, I don't know, were they up by a graveyard in another area where there's a bunch of lighting and stuff? Yeah, and so Rumpelstiltskin has the baby, so they're trying to go rescue the baby at this point.
Yeah.
Very Ghostbusters 2 vibes at this point.
Yeah, what's he trying to do? Like absorb his soul or some shit?
Just going to take the soul, right? So he digs into this grave and goes and tries to do this ritual to the baby to get its soul. And, of course, they got to save the day. So.
Yeah, they what do they call that witch and she locks him up again? They call the one from the store?
Yeah, they call the shop owner, and somehow he's got control over her because she's telling him how to defeat him. And he, strangles her through magic. And so she dies in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of one of those things, like, if you could do that, why wouldn't you just kill the mom and him and then go pick up the baby? Like, why was he able to kill the witch but not the other people? I don't know. There's just no explanation.
That's a plot hole that even his hump can't fill.
Basically, motherfucker looks like a camel.
Yeah.
I like his outfit, though, because he looks like a court jester. Like the little hat he's got.
He looks like a fucking satanic Quasimodo.
Yeah, but
if Quasimodo joined Guar.
Now, there's an idea.
That'd be sick. And that's pretty much this movie, though.
Highly recommend watching it because they leave the ending is like they set it up for a sequel because they're like a couple years later.
Who has the rights to this? I didn't get it on this sequel action.
I don't know, but seeing as all the Leprechaun sequels they made, they definitely could have made some amazing sequels to this. He's got like these cheesy one-liners that like you'd expect out of Freddy Krueger.
Oh, my favorite line of his, since he's all old-timey, is "fucketh me."
Yeah, that's what he says. "Fucketh me." We're like, well, okay. And then like half of his lines are normal English and half of his lines are like throwback English. So you're just like,
yeah,
well, you know, okay, whatever. But highly recommend seeking this movie out and watching it and let us know what you think because we've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed scaring Alec with it, so...
Find me a time machine and give me Ash versus Rumplestiltskin from like 1995.
Oh my god, that would have been glorious, yeah.
But anyway, that's another idea for another day, for another podcast. What else we got today on the sketch? The sketch, as the kids say.
Sheshuala. Top 5.
Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5.
This is top 5.
So, top 5 this week is top 5 movie creatures. So we kind of loosely took this with what we wanted to do. So I think it was like nothing human-based, mostly, you know, things like that. And then certain other things. But just listen to the list and figure out what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So what's your number 5, Alec?
Number 5. It's from a 70s film. It's a very tall, fuzzy, shotgun riding badass named Chewbacca.
Oh, nice.
Chewbacca is my favorite creature from Star Wars, period. And if he's not yours, then I don't think you're doing Star Wars right. Chewbacca kicks fucking ass. I don't think I need to tell you who Chewbacca is or describe him much more than that.
Nope, I don't think so. So I didn't have anyone from Star Wars on there just because there's too many fucking crazy characters to think of besides the most obvious one.
I had to go with Chewbacca. The only other debatable option was Yoda. Just because even that puppetry for Yoda and shit, the Frank Oz, all that shit rules too, man.
I could see that. So my number 5 is Audrey 2.
Nice.
Pretty badass. Anytime you get a crazy musical about a carnivorous alien plant that does some crazy shit, then just the way it grows, the behind-the-scenes stuff is pretty awesome. Must be blood. And that is a Frank Oz creation there, too. So, pretty sweet.
Hell yeah.
Number 4.
I love Little Shop of Horrors. Number 4. 1991. 2. 1. All of a sudden, my brain doesn't work.
I don't know.
The T-1000 from Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
He, as much as I do like the original Terminator, it's less of a creature and more of a machine, even though the other one's obviously a machine by definition and everything too. But it's more fluid. It's menacing in a different way because it can mimic things.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying. That T-1000 and what's his name? Robert Patrick, who played him? Mm-hmm. Fucking also excellent job terrifying T-1000.
Yeah, I mean, look how many movies he cameoed as the T-1000 in. We just talked Last Action Hero, but he's also in Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Doing that. Pretty cool. And I love the way they combine the CGI stuff with the on-set effects, right? So, like when he'd have the big bullet holes mushrooming out and self-healing, some awesome stuff there. My number 4 were the graboids from Tremors. The first one, specifically.
Yes, these were initially on my list.
Yeah, it's a classic. That first Tremors movie is hard to beat, right? It's just such a good movie.
The only reason they ended up not completely on my list is because you don't see them enough, I feel like. But you see them a good fair amount. Because they're underground creatures, so I mean, it's
yeah,
nice.
but when you see them breaking through, though, like they do a good job of making that terrifying.
Those effects are great too.
What's your number 3?
Audrey 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Audrey 2. I want to get a tattoo with Audrey tattoo. Wow, words.
Audrey Tattoo.
Yes.
That's a good shop, actually. That's a good shop name. If you're looking for a tattoo shop name, you can pay us money to use Audrey Tattoo and have a plant that's a tattoo artist as your logo.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably coming out of a Ghostbusters 2 logo.
Yes, that's a good call, too.
No, but Audrey 2 because it's fucking sick as hell. I was just saying that I wanted an Audrey 2 tattoo, like on my leg with all the shit coming up it. Be dope. What do you got for 3?
Predators. Those are pretty cool.
They're all right.
I thought it was kind of fun. It's a little different, right? It's like a good it's a fun alien. I'm talking the original. The second one's okay, but the first one, like, you get it just enough a glimpse of it, and when they finally like show it at the end, it's pretty badass, like what you see.
I'm curious if the Xenomorph is on your list now.
To be honest with you, I had Predator/Aliens on there, but my thing with the alien design's very iconic, right? Don't get me wrong there, but the thing that's ruined me for Alien to some degree is just H.R. Geiger being such a weirdo. Like, his obsession with penises, like, you're just like, he really wanted that alien head to look like a dong. And then it's got a dick thing that comes out of its mouth, too, that tries to eat you. So, H.R. Geiger's designs, they're a little freaky.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. They're dope as fuck.
What's your number 2?
Number 2 is Gizmo / the Gremlins, but Gizmo.
You read my fucking list?
No.
You read my list again? My number 2 says Gremlins / Gizmo Mogwais.
Exactly. Yeah, there's not much more you need to say about this. They're some of the fucking best movie monsters ever. They probably would be my number 1 if my number 1 wasn't my number 1.
Speaking of number 1, what is your number 1?
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
God damn it! That's my number 1 too.
That's fucking hilarious.
Because we both sat here to write this down, and I was like, okay, what are we gonna do for my top 5 here? And then I wrote that. That was the first thing I wrote down.
That's the first thing I wrote down too. Remember when I said I have my number 1?
Yeah.
I wrote that bastard down. And then Gizmo was an easy number 2. My honorable mentions were the Xenomorph, the Graboids, and Godzilla. Because Godzilla is so fucking iconic. How can you not? But I just am not too experienced with Godzilla, so I figured, no.
Yeah. So one of my honorable mentions was critters. Those are like funny little creatures. Like, some of them like look terrible. You know, they're like really cheaply done, and then some of the critters look really good. You know, just just the number they had in the movie.
You know, there's Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. There's all sorts of
there's
awesome badass shit we could have had on this list. But that's the top 5. Tell us your top 5. What do you think of our list? Hit us up. Let us know.
So, due to me moving, I didn't have a way to watch Extreme Ghostbusters. So we'll get back to that next week when we record again. So it'll be a quick turnaround this time. So we got more toys. We're going to have some toys shown. We'll show what we got. But I've got to do some unpacking.
Yeah.
So as I get to unpacking and having a sense of normalcy in my new place, I will be kind of posting that stuff. Kind of excited to be able to show off a lot of my collection now that's been in boxes for several years.
Yeah. Everything now that I pretty much am buying goes directly into boxes now, so I'm like, this sucks. I need to get my own place. So I'll probably be moving up within the end of the year, but ASAP, so we'll figure all that out soon, and there'll be a lot of more dope content. We're going to have at least a short little video of 1313 Mockingbird Lane we'll throw up. And we are going to book an interview with him at some point here.
So we will preview that on our next episode. We're going to talk Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, because we saw that tonight in theaters. A place called Screenland Armor. I've gone to several double features up there. They're just a local independent theater doing some pretty cool stuff up there, and they showed Fire Walk with Me. So Alec is a huge Twin Peaks fan, and we went and checked that out, so we'll get an in-depth review of that, because I've actually had never seen the film prior to tonight, so we'll cut into that next week. But in the meanwhile, party hard, friends, and we will see you soon.
Peace out.
These are my dinner guests, the Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers, Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests, Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers, Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests, the Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers, Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests, Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers, Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests, the Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers, Frog Brothers.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.